December 12th here, and what we're going to discuss today is some more Q stuff, Q drops. Whenever he makes some drops on 8chan, you can be sure they'll probably make it into these videos. We're going to discuss Adam Schiff. We'll talk a little bit about FBI, specifically McCabe, and then we'll talk about Fusion GPS, and I'm going to show you some articles that came out from mainstream media direct saying that literally that asteroid, that cigar-shaped asteroid that NASA found in the recent weeks, they literally saying it could be a spacecraft passing Earth. And I kid you not, my jaw actually dropped when I saw those words on those articles this morning, so I'll show you those. And some videos that you can be expecting coming out of this channel in the next few days. I did an interview with Niara Isley that I will be posting. I'm going to do a video on these California fires. I've been doing quite a bit of rabbit hole researching the past few days, and it's just stunning, the stuff that's coming out of California. Then I'm going to do a couple of videos that people have been asking me questions about, specifically a basic overview of what I'm aware of about the secret space program, and then Antarctica as well. I got a great question about how Antarctica fits into everything. So good videos coming out there. And then huge thanks to all you guys on Patreon too. I'll be uploading a video update to Patreon later today, and thank you for all you guys supporting me through that. So, turn over to the television here, you know. All right, guys, here's the Q posts that we're going to go over first. Let me zoom in. So there's just a few, and I'm going to read them real quick and then show you what I think these breadcrumbs might be pointing towards. So we got this one right here. It says, do you believe in coincidences? BDT, blunt and direct time. Think currency. Think fireworks. Thwarted, message delivered. So when I see the think currency and think fireworks, actually, you know, I'm just going to read the rest of them, and then I'll come back and go off on the follow the white rabbit holes. This one here, it says owls. I don't know what owls could be referencing, but of course we have a lot of owl symbolism in the Cabal with their, you know, Bohemian Grove and a lot of other things like that. And the owls, they fly in darkness, so it could be a reference towards the Cabal and whatnot. But basically here it just says light will overcome darkness, light will expose darkness, light will reveal darkness, and light will defeat darkness. Not too sure why these underscores might be there. Who knows if there's some kind of code behind that, but here's a good one. So this is from an anonymous poster that Q actually responded to, and he said, guys, is Melissa Schiff related to Adam Schiff? We're going to talk Adam Schiff in a minute here, but basically this is showing that Melissa Schiff, who could very well be related to Adam, got married to George Soros' son, Robert Soros. This is an article from 1992. They were married for some 20-some years. They actually split up in recent years. But anyway, what are the frickin' chances, right? And then Q responds, follow the wives. These people are stupid. We have a really special place picked out for GS, George Soros. Really special. I wonder what that is. Here's an anonymous poster that Q basically reposted, which leads us to believe that this is the truth, but maybe all these wives are in their own high priestess cult, and that's where we'll see the symbolism and the slip-ups. So, exactly, right? Follow the wives. Here's a post. Risk of another shutdown. Be prepared to lose access. And then the last one that we have here is for God and country. Freedom! This one right here, risk of another shutdown. Be prepared to lose access. This is where I want to tie into this top one up here that says think currency, think fireworks, and risk of another shutdown. So here's a couple things. I'm going to pull up my Firefox here. So right here, right, of course we had the potential government shutdown that was going to happen last week that got averted. And I was wondering when the next shutdown was going to be called, right? We always have one seemingly every few weeks that has to be averted. So this is the next one. The House of Representatives, working against a Friday midnight deadline, which was last week, approved legislation vote to fund a wide range of federal programs through December 22nd, right? December 22nd. So this Q drop says, think currency, think fireworks, and government shutdown. So with a government shutdown on the 22nd, let's think currency. What's going on with currency? Well, here's a couple articles that have been coming out past couple days, and it's about the BRICS nations, Russia and China specifically, creating a real gold standard to mean the end of US dollar dominance, right? So think currency. We have basically the US dollar about to go down the drain, but let's also think risk of another shutdown, he says here. So what if, again, here's some breadcrumbs, dots connecting, that next government shutdown where we could see the 10 days of darkness that Q keeps referencing, right? What if that shutdown is going to be some kind of global collateral reset, some kind of reevaluation, right? And think currency, well, gold standard, new rainbow currency maybe, new US dollar, or I should say off the Federal Reserve notes, and then it says think fireworks. So with that 10 days of darkness, right, it's now the next shutdown is supposedly going to be the 22nd. Well, let's look at a calendar. What's 10 days after the 22nd? That is the 1st, all right? Think fireworks. New Year's. Always fireworks on New Year's. So 10 days after the 22nd is New Year's. And what if, right? Just a few dots there to connect. And again, with things like currency resets and revaluations, it's so fluid. You know, we can't nail down specific date. With all this stuff, we can't nail down specific dates. But think currency, think fireworks, right? Who knows? So that's just what I want to show you guys by way of that. Now let's talk about Adam Schiff. Let's go into some Schiff stuff. Let the Schiff hit the fan, right? So let's talk about this article. I'm going to first begin with by this pretty cool website I've actually found in recent days. And I like it. It's called theconservativetreehouse.com, and they have some pretty good investigations. It looks just kind of like someone's blog, someone's side blog, but they do some good stories. And this one here, it says, the new FBI agency everyone forgot about. Did Adam Schiff just get caught in an elaborate counterintelligence sting? Remember, what Q has potential connections to Soros there. But funny enough, speaking of Soros, this article came out on Breitbart earlier this year. This is an article from the 10th of April. And it says, Representative Adam Schiff's congressional career aided by Soros-financed groups. So he was previously financially aided by George Soros-financed MoveOn.com to win his congressional seat. No wonder, right? If he's got direct ties to the Soros family, no freaking wonder. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now let's move on to this article from about a month ago, from November 2nd, and this was a quote from Devin Nunes, and it says, he was seeing bizarre behavior from Adam Schiff about the investigation into the origin of the Steele dossier. Remember the dossier that's suggesting collusion between this current Trump administration and Russia and all that jazz? Well, once Adam Schiff saw it, he started to get antsy in his panties. So not only that, let's move on to the next article. So this is Adam Schiff just over the past couple days. Schiff calls collusion evidence pretty damning, but not beyond a reasonable doubt. He is still banging the Russia drums. Because, of course, if he saw that dossier and how he understands how fake it was, man, he was probably getting antsy, and that's why he's continuing to beat the Russia narrative, even though it's failing, even though it's falling apart, right? Well, he doesn't want the truth to come out, and he knows that he's going to be one of the next ones that gets caught up by it. And now let's move into what's going on with the Fusion GPS. So where's that article I wanted? This one here, we're going to skip around. We're going to talk about the FBI in a second here. I actually want to talk about the Fusion GPS first, speaking of it, since we're on the topic. So this is an article that came out by the Washington Times a couple days ago. Actually yesterday. No, 10th, a couple days ago. And it says, Fusion GPS tried to tie Trump to Clinton's pedophile pal Epstein as part of a smear campaign. So this article coming out by the Washington Times is putting the truth out there about Fusion GPS, calling it the opposition research firm whose Democrat-financed Russia dossier fueled an FBI investigation into Donald Trump. So they're actually not putting a spin on it. Washington Times seems to be actually calling out the truth. Hey, and they were trying to label Epstein and Trump, and then they actually go on to say the Trump-Epstein link appears to be purely social, far short of Mr. Clinton's 20-plus plane rides to Epstein's Lolita Express, right? So we have the Washington Times looking like they're actually reporting some truth, but then the Washington Post, just a few hours later, the Washington Post goes on. I actually have to open this article on Firefox. I can't watch it on Google. So just a few hours later after that Washington Times article drops, then we have the Washington Post. Complete end of the spectrum. Here they're saying journalism for rent inside the secretive firm behind the Trump dossier. So they're writing an article on Fusion GPS, but if you read it, it's a massive, like, ass-covering article. And they're basically saying, oh, Fusion GPS was trying to expose slimy dealings, and Fusion's other past research target include tech giants Google and Amazon, and 2012 presidential candidates Mitt Romney and Barack Obama. And, you know, they're basically trying to make it sound like Fusion GPS is this wonderful place that's nonpartisan, that's, you know, just got... they still try to expose slimy dealings, and, you know, it's just a bunch of ass-covering bullshit. So that's quite obvious. But jumping around here, I wanted to go back to actually this Conservative Treehouse article and talk about Adam Schiff a little bit more. I didn't get into this as much as I wanted to. So let's deduce this a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and link, of course, all these articles that I get into down below. But it says, by now, everyone is likely aware of the fake news story run by CNN on Friday surrounding the email received by Donald Trump Jr. This email was part of the investigative evidence shared with the House Intel Committee, later leaked from within that committee to CNN, thereby initiating the false reporting. The central issue in the CNN story was the date of the email. Remember, CNN was reporting the date of the email was September 4th, and which made it look like there was all this collusion, but the real date of the email was actually September 14th, leading to nothing. But here's the thing. CNN reported that 2 independent sources originally leaked to them the contents of what were seen on the email. Think about this carefully, it says here. 2 independent sources looked at the email and both came away from reading the email with the wrong date. How is that possible? And then I'm going to point to this, boom, line right here. The Don Jr. WikiLeaks email could very easily be part of a sting. The date was intentionally seeded as incorrect. The resulting story is fake. The leak, however, is real. And this is the big part of it, is that in this example, we believe it is most likely House Intel Committee Minority Chair Adam Schiff, who is the recipient of the disinformation and has now exposed himself as a leaker to an elite, previously undisclosed investigative unit. So remember in those Q posts, guys, what did he say? Disinformation is necessary. What if that didn't necessarily mean what Q was giving us was disinformation? What if that was a subtle hint to disinformation that was specifically being leaked to people to out them? So not only do we have Adam Schiff basically outing himself, but this article then goes to give a lot of news stories that have come out through the mainstream media over the past week or two that could be being used to out the leakers. Boom, we have the Mueller subpoenaed Deutsche Bank records on Trump several weeks ago, right? What if this isn't even true? What if this is one of those leaked stories to find who's doing it, right? We've got that Donald Trump Jr. WikiLeaks story, of course. We've got the federal judge in Mike Flynn's case recusing himself. Nobody knows why. Just a lot of weird stories coming out. So a lot of them don't really make sense because a lot of them probably aren't true. They're probably trying to get to the leakers. Catch what this article is calling the Gang of Eight. The Gang of Eight that holds oversight on every covert intelligence operation. The Gang of Eight overseeing the NSA, CIA, FBI. And this is the Gang of Eight here. You got Schiff, Pelosi, McConnell, Schumer, right? A lot of these people are working against the Make America Great agenda. So great article here discussing that whole sting operation. I'll link it down below. I wanted to talk a little bit more about that before we moved on. Now we'll get into, let's see here, obviously Adam Schiff, about to get exposed. Now let's talk about McCabe. So the FBI, McCabe actually cut out, he dipped out, canceled his testimony. Hold on. Zero Hedge is always a little slow to load for me. So McCabe, wow. It's not cooperating with me right now. Anyway, McCabe canceled his testimony in front of the House Intel Committee. Let's see if I can close some tabs here so it'll come up. Something far more sinister with Fusion GPS. So McCabe was basically supposed to testify in front of the House Intel Committee yesterday, and he didn't. He decided to cancel his closed-door testimony because it emerged that the wife of a senior Department of Justice official, Bruce Orr, worked for Fusion GPS. Direct revolving door example right there. And McCabe was too scared to go testify because he knew he would be asked about that. So Zero Hedge reports that you can expect subpoenas to compel McCabe to appear later this week. So it's pretty amazing that happened. And it's pretty obvious. True Pundit is reporting here that Christopher Wray, the new FBI director, is basically investigating the FBI brass for reported vigilante-like plot to what they call fuck Flynn and Trump. So it says on True Pundit here, again, this is another one I'll link down below that I'd suggest you read. It says FBI Director Christopher Wray has been diligently but quietly investigating whether a group of the FBI's top agents waged a political-fueled vigilante campaign against Mike Flynn and Donald Trump. And I would go on to believe that this is being headed, and this article also says that, by Andrew McCabe, because apparently there was a group of FBI brass that cheered him during multiple staff meetings where he actually mentioned how they were going after Flynn and Trump. And then a group of people cheered, some didn't cheer. But it's obvious the ones that cheered McCabe are the ones where the ones that need to be fired and likely taken out in handcuffs. So there's that. Here's a cool article that came out from Zero Hedge. Ex-spy chief admits role in deep state intelligence war on Trump. So the former acting director of the CIA, who was the acting director under George W. Bush, he was actually his personal daily briefer. His name was Michael Morell. He came out and stated that he had a leading role in the intelligence community waging political war against the president and described his actions as something he didn't fully think through. So this guy is basically saying yes, you know. And he'd previously written articles back in 2016 about him running the CIA and now how he's endorsing Hillary Clinton. So what it looks like here is that we have deep state operatives that know that the game is almost over. They know the charade's almost up. So this guy is backstepping. He's saying that, oh, I didn't think it through. And yes, you know, there is a deep state war on Trump. So this guy's he's almost flipping in a way. It's great to see. Great to see. Now for the last few articles, want to put a spotlight on these sex harassment allegations on Donald Trump. Of course, we had the press conference yesterday, and many people are doing good work showing that that press conference was funded by a Soros-connected foundation. Can't get much more obvious than that. But let's take a look at one of the accusers in that conference yesterday, this woman right here, Jessica Leeds. So some people did some connecting with her and actually found how Jessica Leeds she's claiming to be one of the sexual assault victims, but she happens to be a Clinton Foundation secretary and connected to the Clinton Foundation. Here's a picture showing that. Where is the one? Yeah, here's the one. So here you can see she's actually a secretary. One of the directors that she's a secretary for is, you can see here pictured with Hillary Clinton. Her name is Julie Klezewski, something to that effect. But anyway, her secretary is Jessica Leeds, who is claiming to be this sex assault victim. So you just can't make this stuff up. You really can't. I'm wondering what kind of other connections these two women have. Samantha Holvey and Rachel Crooks. Her last name's Crook. Ha! So I guarantee you she has connections to Hillary Clinton. And for the last couple articles here, these are the ones that I really want to show you, because these give you proof that this whole storm is coming to a head, and some large events are getting really, really close. So this is an article that came out from The Independent early this morning. It says, huge mysterious object flying past Earth might be an alien spacecraft. And this isn't under their weird news or anything like that. This is an actual article that's been going around multiple mainstream media outlets. It was on The Independent. It was also on The Guardian. Astronomers to check interstellar body for signs of alien technology. I shit you not. So basically what we're seeing is, remember, I've reported on this before too. This is that weird cigar-shaped, what they're calling an asteroid. Funny enough, this looks like a lot of the freaking, cigar-shaped ET craft or Black Project craft as well. But what they're doing is, prepping us for any kind of disclosure that they will conveniently pull if the storm, right, this whole thing surrounding the takedown of the deep state that's occurring, man, it's like a card in their back pocket, right? If they were to suddenly announce that they found that this was some kind of, they would most likely call it an empty ET vessel or something to that effect. But if they suddenly call then, aliens exist and this is a spacecraft, they could easily divert all the attention away from the storm and all the political surroundings of DC, have everybody focus on this. And I shit you not, astronomers are to use one of the world's largest telescopes to check a mysterious object that is speeding through the solar system for signs of alien technology. The Green Bank Telescope in West Virginia will listen for radio signals broadcast from a cigar-shaped body. And let's see, I like this article here. Researchers involved in the SETI, which is the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, SETI, project, are now preparing to point a powerful telescope at the bizarre object. So SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, is a giant smokescreen. It's the giant smokescreen to hide the truth about ET life and hide the truth about things like the secret space program and all the dots that connect there. So this is a massive smokescreen, huge ploy. And it's amazingly, it's a long and cigar-shaped rock, for instance. And while it's hundreds of meters long, it's very unusual for asteroids to come with such non-round forms. It's amazing. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. So that's why I'm going to be doing a couple videos coming up on, for instance, how Antarctica fits into things, how the secret space program fits. Very bad connection. I hope you guys can still see me. I'm about done. But anyway, more videos coming to describe what the heck is going on with this. But with this article showing up, huge flying object going past Earth might be an alien spacecraft. We're just right around the corner from some kinds of disclosures. And They are really trying to put a lot of contingency plans in place. Anything they need to pull. So anyway, I'm off for this one, guys. I'll be uploading videos later today and be doing, like I always say, a lot more videos than just these live feeds. So have a wonderful day, guys. Take care.